I was talking to the driver when I got here, and I was saying, like, why does Arizona, especially in the East Coast, it's like a different world. It gets such a bum rap for being like this heat that you, like this thing called Phoenix, like over here,
Yeah,
like, why is that? It's not that bad. It's
that's the thing. Up here in northern Arizona, since we're so high, we're at 7,000 feet, it just is completely different. It's more like Colorado, than it is like the traditional desert of Phoenix. So it's actually pretty nice here during that.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like in New York, it's terrible now.
It's really hot, right?
Sweltering humidity, and in addition to they even have a university here, so this is like a happening place.
I'm actually a PhD student there, so I'm on.
You're still a student?
Yeah, I'm off my contract. So during the summer, so I teach at the university. I teach seniors, and I'm also a doctoral student. So then during the summers, I do this, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, this looks like a fun job.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I get to go to the Grand Canyon a lot. I get to go to Antelope Canyon, Horseshoe Bend. It's
Horseshoe Bend.
Yeah,
I love these names that they have. They had names like that in Yellowstone, all kinds of these Indian and these cute names.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about.
Have you done
I
Yellowstone?
have. Yeah, I've been. To Yellowstone.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yes,
it's beautiful.
You guys are lucky. You're near everything.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So this is actually Route 66, so original Route 66, kind of the historic highway in the southwest. This is it, and it takes a right at this light here. So we get to be on it here for a bit, which is kind of a treat.
Yeah, I just, I want to get a little footage of Flagstaff because it's interesting to see these towns. I didn't know it had such a nightlife. I was looking around like, this is interesting. It's such a small town.
Yeah.
Based on the airport, it was like maybe the same size as Jackson Hole, and I'm like, there's no nightlife there.
Nothing at Jackson Hole, you're right. We'll hop in here, and it's got the Taco Bell, it's got everything else, but it's like our one road that kind of looks like kind of anywhere else. But.
Yeah, I kind of just hung around town yesterday. It's super chill here.
Yeah.
Very laid back.
Have either of you ever been to the Grand Canyon before, like as a kid or something, or is it your first time?
Not even close. No. I did a lot. I did a lot of travel. I did Africa.
Oh, cool! Wow.
I did South America. I did Europe. Africa was the most like naturistic thing I would do. I did Kruger National Park.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
I bet.
Yeah.
But you just haven't been to.
And you know what's interesting? People don't know the third largest canyon in the world is right near Kruger.
Really?
It's called Bladder River Canyon.
Huh.
But it's different there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The canyon there is not just a canyon. They have a river teeming with quacks and hippos coming out. It's like something you see in a kid's book.
Yeah.
But it's real. But it's a massive canyon.
That's crazy.
But it's there, and I got like that was a treat.
Oh, I'm sure.
In addition to Kruger, I got to see that. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that was the only canyon that I saw. And the second largest canyon is Fish River Canyon, the one in Namibia.
Okay.
Which is also Africa. Near South Africa.
They have
two of the largest canyons. Yeah, not as big as this one though.
Yeah.
Not nearly as big as this one.
Let's make sure we're at the Courtyard Marriott. We are. This is the little hotel pocket back here.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is there any homes here?
Yeah, there are. Yeah, just off the main road, there really aren't.
This is like all hotels.
I know. Yeah.
It's similar to Jackson Hole.
A little bit. Yeah.
There's nowhere to live there.
Yeah.
It's like it's just hotels.
Yeah, just so many people passing through. You guys are contributing to that.
Yeah.
That's all right though. Flagstaff likes that. This is kind of the outskirts of Flag, so this is kind of as far south as we go, and then there's the highway that gets you to Phoenix and LA and all that, so this is kind of the back end. But there are a bunch of homes just to the south of the highway back there, so you're wondering home-wise, they're kind of over there. Some of them. There's more up north as well.
Yeah, coming from New York, this is like one of the cleanest places I've seen. It's so do people go around and sweep all day here? It's like there's not a speck of dust on the ground or anything.
This is a weird light because I never know if they have a red or apparently not.
Yeah.
Make our way up this nice windy one. There's a helicopter up there next to Mount Eldon, which is a mountain. You can see it kind of circling.
Oh,
They've been doing some logging up there, so they might be doing some.
That's really nice. Yeah.
We'll drive right by that mountain on the way out. So I'll hop out real quick and grab our, I think it might be a group of 4. Get back on Route 66 for a second. Okay, well, welcome. We're up pretty high here, 7,000 feet. So we're much higher than Denver and a lot of other places throughout, the U.S. There's a couple of towns, obviously in Colorado, and a couple in California that are a little taller than us, but not many. So if you are wondering why when you're walking up steps you got winded, that's probably why. That's why. So this is a little bit different from the rest of Arizona, right? I mean, when you think about Arizona, what do you often think about? You think about the desert, you think about the saguaro cactus, right? You think about all that, the heat, 120 degree heat, crazy stuff like that. Well, we don't have that up here. We've got these beautiful ponderosa pine trees instead, some nice cool weather. We get snow, we get, the whole mountain feel. So it's a nice place to be, and I think it's a nice little gym in Arizona, and I'm not actually from here originally. I'm actually from Kansas, so I grew up in Lawrence, Kansas, where the University of Kansas is, and right outside of Kansas City, if you aren't familiar with Lawrence. But that's where I went to my undergrad. That's where I kind of grew up. And when I told people I was going to move out to Arizona, to Flagstaff, the first thing they said is, "Oh, you don't have to bring your coat there anymore." I'm like, well, you don't fully understand where I'm going. So you guys picked a nice place to come, and it's awesome that the Grand Canyon is just, an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half from, in my backyard, and I get to share that with you today, so I'm really excited about that. So Flagstaff's a pretty cool town. The university is actually just tucked back here, Northern Arizona University. We just kind of drove by some of it. This is the North Campus, and when I'm not celebrating summer, I'm actually a doctoral student there, getting my PhD in biology. I teach seniors there in cellular mechanisms and metabolism, but I don't do that during the summer, so that's the great part about being a teacher, right? You get to have summers off, I suppose. So I get to do this, which is super fun, and I get to teach in different ways, and so yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to today. It looks like the weather's going to be really nice. It looks like the high might just peak 80 degrees, nice and sunny, maybe a little breezy as well to cool it off a bit. But take a look out to the left. I'm sure you've already noticed this, but we've got mountains here in Flagstaff. We've got back there, those are the San Francisco peaks. Those nice triangle peaks up there with a little bit of snow on them. It's about to melt all the way, but we're looking at the south side of the mountains here, but the north side of the mountain actually has more snow just because of the way the sun hits it, and you'll be able to see that better on our way back today. So we're going to do a big nice loop of a drive, so you'll be able to see a different perspective on the way back than obviously you're going to see on the way out. And then as soon as we come past this little cutout of road, you're going to be able to see two little mountains to my left, two little humps, and that's Mount Eldon and Mount Baldy, so I'll show you that as soon as we kind of escape these rocks here. So here you go, out left, we've got Mount Eldon on the right, and then we got Mount Baldy on the left. It's getting kind of fuzzy and green up there right now, which is really pretty. And actually on Mount Eldon, on the right side, there's a lookout tower, which you can't quite see yet, but there's some there's some satellite and dish and little towers up there, but there's actually a watchtower as well, where a gentleman, his name's Rod, he likes to, I don't know actually if he likes to do this, but he stands up there during the dry season, which is now, and he can look out for wildfires, and if he sees wildfires, he can report those fires to the local fire crews in different areas. He's a retired firefighter. I guess maybe not retired since he's still working, but he's in his late 60s, and he hikes up that twice a week. And the other days he actually drives up the back. So he's in really good shape. And you can kind of see the watchtower. It becomes a little more clear as we go around the other side, so I'll definitely point it out. But from that watchtower, actually, you can see all the way out to the border of Arizona and Utah. So you can see a long, long way. And he has special equipment that's able to essentially detect how fast a fire is moving and which direction, and that way he can kind of report it to the local people. So he's a really nice guy. In fact, if he doesn't spot a wildfire and he's up there just looking, you can, if you're ever on top of that, you can actually go up in the watchtower with him and look through some of his equipment. Scientists believe a stratovolcano. They think it looked a lot like Mount Fuji in Japan, but it was about a mile higher than what it is now. So the tallest peak out on the San Francisco peaks right now is Mount Humphreys. That's 12,600 feet. So a mile higher would have been about 17,000 feet. So an absolutely huge mountain. But they believe a couple million years ago it blew its top off, and then it created all these channels, and that's how we get all of our peaks up there. So I say the San Francisco peaks, plural, but technically it's just one massive mountain that has all these different spires on it that create the mountaintop. But, in fact, if you're ever on top of one of those mountains, I was up on Mount Humphreys 2 days ago, and when you're standing on the summit, actually you can see the bowl in the middle. That looks like it kind of blew its top out. Pretty fascinating, but I'll be able to show you that too as we swing around here, as we get outside of the shadow of Mount Eldon here. Mount Eldon's about a 2.5, you can hike up it, and it's about a 2.5 mile hike. So not too long of a hike, but it's about 2,500 feet in elevation gain. So that's about 1,000 feet every mile, or 0.1 miles is 100 feet. So that's a stair stepper for you. It can be a tough one.
Do a lot of people hike up it?
Yeah, a lot of people do, and there's a couple other loops that don't go all the way up to the top, so if people are maybe not as into doing something that more challenging, they can do a little less challenging.
Sure.
That kind of goes along the bottom. It's kind of funny, actually. The easier one is called Fat Man's Loop. Somewhat, I don't know, not kind, but nonetheless, it's still a fun trail to hike on. But there you go, you can see the watchtower there to the left now pretty clearly. It's up on those stilts.
I see a lot of signs for deer. So
Yeah.
There's a lot of deer around there.
Yeah, great question. A lot of signs for deer, and that's because there are a lot of deer. We're in a national forest. We're in the Coconino National Forest, as well as a couple other blends of forests that come in and out of Flagstaff. And so that means that, one, it makes Flagstaff actually fairly expensive. Now, if you're coming from New York, it's not expensive, or other places it's not expensive, but for a mountain town, actually it's one of the most expensive mountain towns in the country. It's because, since we're in a national forest, we can't expand land because it's all protected, and we can't go up, like in New York, we can't go above 5 stories because we're in an international dark sky city, because we have the observatory here, which actually founded Pluto. So we have which, if you ask anyone in Flagstaff, Pluto is still a planet, okay? It's still a planet. Don't you even bring up the question, okay? But yeah, it can be expensive, but that also means that the fun thing is we get lots of animals, because they just roam the national forest, right? So we have a lot of deer, a lot of elk, we get some jackrabbits, we get mountain lions, we get bighorn sheep. I'm coming from the Midwest originally, so I'm used to seeing deer, right? Michigan, I bet you guys see deer. Minnesota, I bet you guys see deer quite a bit. And so I was used to that too, but I wasn't used to seeing deer like in the middle of the day everywhere. And when I first moved to Flagstaff, I was at a grocery store, I was in a parking lot, and I like almost hit 2 deer at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And they were just like chilling in the parking lot. So they're just kind of everywhere, you know? You gotta be careful driving at night, and you gotta be careful driving during the day too. But this little guy right here to our right, this mountain-looking thing, this is actually not a mountain. It's where we mine for cinder cones, or cinder rock, rather. And like I said, volcanic activity. We got lots of cinder rock. And when we get a lot of snow, we don't throw down salt or sand like other places for like environmental reasons. We actually throw down this cinder rock that's supposed to help with traction. I say supposed to help because I don't really know how much it truly does. This past winter, we got 75 inches of snow in 1 week, 40 inches in 2 days, which was a record for us. The whole town basically shut down, and they actually shut the university down back-to-back days, which had never happened in the history of the university, so that was great for me. I love that. It just so happened that those 2 days that they shut down were the 2 days I taught, so hey, got a whole week off. Humphreys from proper Flagstaff, because Mount Agassiz covers it up, it's kind of in front of it, so people just don't know the difference, which is very sad, but I didn't know it either when I first moved here, but I quickly found out when you start to climb it, you go around that mountain, and you're like, wait, I thought that was Mount Humphreys, and it's not. So there you go, that double hump peak with more snow on it, that's Mount Humphreys. That's the tallest point in Arizona, and the surrounding area as well. Like I said, just above 12,600 feet. So it's not as tall as, some of the mountains you've got out in California, Colorado, those 13,000, 14,000 peaks. Especially not as tall as, obviously, the ones out in Alaska either, but pretty big for out here. And on the west side, so this other side of the mountain that we're not quite seeing yet, but you'll see on the way back, that's where we have skiing. So we do have a ski slope, which is pretty popular around here. It's called Snow Bowl. There's a couple runs. It's not the best skiing in the world, but for Arizona, it's pretty darn good. And that means during the winter, all the people from Phoenix drive up and clog our streets and go skiing. And we call them the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians come in and take over Flagstaff. But yeah.
Is that Mount Lemon?
I'm sorry?
Is that Mount Lemon?
No.
Oh, I think Lemon is farther.
Lemon's down near, I think, yeah, down in Tucson. Yep. So yeah, we got a couple large mountains in Arizona. We got some down in the Tucson area, like Mount Lemon, and we've got a couple tallish ones in the Phoenix surrounding area, and then the primary big ones are right here in Flagstaff. And I mentioned volcanic activity. Remember, volcanic activity is pretty evident underneath the soil here as we've cut out the side of this road. So here it's okay, but up in front of me too, you can see it even more clearly. You don't have to dig very far deep into the soil to find nice red volcanic rock. So here you go, you can see it nice and well right here. And yeah, this is a great opportunity to see some more healthy ponderosa trees. I'll try to point some out to us here on the left side of the road where you guys are looking. You can see a couple orange guys tucked back in there next to those blackjacks. This one in the middle of the road right here on the left side, it's starting to shed its bottom branches. So you can see that it's starting to lose all of those. So it's starting to look a little more healthy. And then we've got this guy right here on the left, in the middle of the road. That's a nice looking ponderosa, orange bark, kind of naked halfway up. Hard for a fire to jump up on that guy. And then here to the right, we have Sunset Crater, which is a national monument. It's Sunset Crater volcano, technically, because about 1,000 years ago, this used to be a flat region. Or I guess they tell me that. I wasn't here 1,000 years ago, but supposedly this was a flat region. And there's a fault that runs right there. And that fault kind of opened a little bit, and some lava spewed out, and it hardened. And they called that the volcano, and then we got these mountains. So this right here to our right are the newest formed mountains in the United States, actually. They're about 950 to 1,000 years old. And the funny thing is, scientists think that fault is active every 1,000 years. So if you do your math, if it was active 950 to 1,000 years ago, and they say it's active every 1,000 years, well, that means we're due some sort of activity. So a lot of scientists have some equipment out there and monitoring the ground activity. We don't think it's going to do any lava or anything like that like it did 1,000 years back, but maybe a little bit of ground movement or maybe a minor earthquake or something like that. But luckily, I don't live on this side of town, so I think I'm okay. But yeah, you never know. You never know. Really pretty back there, too. They've actually found some remnants of Native American art and some dwelling sites as well. So if you're interested in doing that, there's also an area around Flagstaff called Walnut Canyon. And that also has some ruin history and go into some of the ruins. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So we're about to take a nice little right turn here. We're topping off at just shy of 7,300 feet. And we're gonna kind of bomb downhill here to the valley and going into Navajo Nation. So depending on how clear it is today, it's looking a little hazy out ahead of us, but essentially as far as the eye can see here in front of us is the border of Arizona and Utah. So we can kind of see all the way out there. And you can go up there to Page. Page, Arizona is kind of the last town up there if you're interested in seeing Lake Powell or Glen Canyon Dam or anything like that. That's up there. But I want to draw your attention to these trees, like I've talked about a little bit already. When you guys were driving in, or however you got in, you might have noticed that the trees kind of appear and disappear like a snap of a finger, like really quickly. They kind of just appear and go away. That's because the ponderosa is a very sensitive tree. It's very sensitive to temperature and moisture, altitude as well. So anything below 6,800 feet, they typically don't like to grow. So we're about to pass 7,000 feet right here. We're going downhill. So pretty soon you're going to see them just completely go away. And that's because it just gets a little bit too hot for them, and it's a little bit too dry. And they're very sensitive, like I said. They're similar to the cactus you might see in Phoenix or other areas. They kind of appear and disappear in a line. Similar, very, very sensitive. So we had one that tried to hang on for dear life here on the right, didn't quite make it. There's a couple tucked back there, as you can see, but predominantly in front of us, we don't see any more. Today, so they still ranch cattle, and they have cows, they've got horses, and then the second is that it's actually now in trust, which means that it cannot be built on, or corporate America can't come in and try to build a McDonald's here or something like that. It should look like this technically forever. So they had to work hard to get this in trust, but now they are. You can see some babies, some younger guys up in there. They're just chilling. So Babbitt, the name Babbitt actually might ring a bell. If Bruce Babbitt kind of hits the back of your brain for some reason, that's because Bruce Babbitt served on the Clinton administration. But yeah, the Babbitt family still lives in Arizona. They still own and operate this land. And it's very special for kind of Arizona as a whole. Some of them live in Phoenix now, some of them live in Sedona, and some of them still live in Flagstaff. And as we descend here, look out to your right. First off, you can see lots of animals, but where that car's coming out, there's a road that leads to Spiderweb Camp, and you can see it just now. Spiderweb Camp is the original headquarters and still the working headquarters to this day of Babbitt Ranch. In fact, there's a little plaque right where that white car is, and it says Babbitt Ranch Spiderweb Camp, and there's a CO in the middle. So see if you can spot this right here. To the right. There it is. So that CO is kind of their seal or their stamp, and it stands for Cincinnati, Ohio. So they kept their roots, and they're kind of ranching out here in the west. You can see some cows out there, but I have a fun story about Babbitt Ranch. I actually spent some time here at Spiderweb Camp getting to know some of the cowboys and ranchers, and they took me on a pickup truck out on that road, way out there to the right if you can see it. And oh, here you go, cowboy's on his horse right here. And, we ran into a cowboy, and he had the whole cowboy outfit on, even more than that guy there. Like in the news, they got like a lot of heat for it. But it just goes to show you that like the rancher's responsibilities now do include this, and it's a big deal. In fact, someone's actually graffitied on this one, "Water is life," which don't support graffiti, but I like that slogan. It is life out here, and if they don't have, I guess water is life everywhere, but it's especially out here. And if the animals don't have water, then in certain areas, then they're not going to survive.
You mentioned mountain lions. Do they have any other predators in this area?
Yeah, so mountain lions don't reside out here, but they're up in Flagstaff. We used to have wolves, and wolves actually moved away from this region about 200 years ago. So actually elk now are considered an invasive species because
the ecosystem is an imbalance.
It's an imbalance, yeah. So other places in the U.S. actually they're starting to introduce wolves back to try to regulate populations of deer and things, but I don't think they're interested in doing that.
So it's a problem then.
It's a little bit, yeah.
So what are the mountain lions? What are their? Must have prey.
Yeah, they eat, squirrels and birds.
Small
yeah,
game.
Rabbits, yep. Humans, no, I'm just kidding. Hopefully not. Actually, in front of us here, you might see that dish tower coming up, and it's kind of funny to see a dish tower that big out in the middle of nowhere. And that dish tower is actually built there because there's a small town right next to it, and I say town lightly because if you